Hey there. Welcome to another exciting edition of Cambridge Inside Out. My name's Robert Winters.
My name's Susana Segat, and I'm trying to get our technology together. I'm just a total...
Luddite.
No, not a Luddite.
Just not quite there yet.
Where I want to be.
All right. Well, this is our... this is the date. Like I should go John McLaughlin on people. Issue 1. No, this is our June. Well, today's June 17th, 2014, and it represents the first week after the exciting and thrilling Democratic State Party convention in Worcester.
Hey, tomorrow's that James Joyce's Ulysses Day, right? It's the day when you walk around and do the plot of the book. Isn't June 18th the day of the day that the book took place?
You know, when I went to math school, they kind of left us out of all of these important details.
I think it is. I think it's the 18th. And
really?
You know what else?
What?
Tomorrow is the last day for people filing for initiative petitions to go on the ballot to turn in their signatures.
Ooh.
There's a bunch of them.
There are a bunch. And do we know any that are almost shoo-ins to make it to the ballot?
I had a wonderful list, and I did all this research, and I left all of my sheets at home. Well, there's the minimum wage one.
We'll just make it up then.
We're gonna make it up. The minimum wage one,
right.
That's the one where they're making a deal with the legislature, that if the
Right.
legislature passes it, they'll withdraw it. Then there's earned sick days.
All right.
Then there's the casino repeal that the Attorney General said they couldn't do, and that's before the Superior Court.
So the Attorney General's, oh, I see, so it's being...
So now it's in court.
Decision suit, okay.
Lots more. And I guess once they've filed and actually have their signatures approved, we will let you know.
All right.
Because we don't remember.
They don't have any, I guess we have to wait till, is it next year or the year after for I heard there's efforts to legalize marijuana in the state.
Oh, that's not an initiative petition.
That's not? Okay.
But the other thing,
Yes.
the other piece of news, if you all haven't heard yet, is that the Olympic Committee announced that Boston was one of the top 4 cities in contention for the...
Olympics.
For which year?
2026. I made that up.
I think it's 24, but now
24.
I left my sheet at home, so there you have it.
If it's a Summer Olympics, I guess it's every regular 4th year, so that would be 2024.
You know when the last one was in the United States? Where it was?
I know the Winter Olympics.
No, summer.
Summer? No idea.
Atlanta.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
96.
Hotlanta. Yeah.
And the interesting little factoid is the other 3 cities are all little initials. LA, SF, and DC. Ours is the only one that's significant.
Okay.
Boston.
Well, now I'm going to guess and say it ain't going to happen, though.
Do you want it to happen?
I think it would be kind of interesting. There was all this investment.
You have to make a big pool.
I just cannot imagine any of these cities being able to get it together, to cooperate, to do the kind of major, constructions and thing on a short schedule to make anything happen. It's just too disorganized.
Well, I'm happy to tell you that they will be deciding in 2017.
Oh.
So don't hold your breath for too long.
Relax. But it's nice to be a contender. So, Susana, what do you have to tell us about Worcester?
I'm so sorry that this is such a screwed up system. I can't figure it out. No, the system's great. I can't figure it out.
All righty.
So I went to the convention.
Yes.
The interesting thing about the convention is how many new people were there. There were so many people who were brand new and had never done it before that I actually knew stuff and could answer questions. It was very impressive.
You get to be the sage.
There were a lot of new people, and it was the first time they'd been there, and it was a little scary to them because you have to read the rules, because the rules, of course, in any kind of process where there's 4,600 passionate people all in one room, the rules matter.
All righty.
So there were 6,000 people elected, 4,000.
6,000 people elected.
Well, there were more than that,
Oh,
6,000
oh.
something.
Oh, I see.
But I left my sheet at
misunderstood
home.
that. I thought there were 6,000 people there doing the electing.
No, there were 6,000 people, more or less, elected
the
out in the
delegates.
caucuses.
All right.
4,900 and some number that I have to make up because I left it in that other sheet, actually showed up.
We were actually going to name the names of all the delegates here.
And we will in the next show if you're lucky.
Of course.
So it started Friday night,
Yes. Friday the 13th.
right? It was Friday the 13th. It was a full moon. There were solar flares and Mercury was in retrograde. So quite a day.
You know, those Democrats really know how to have a good time.
So the
Tempting fate.
The governor gave a speech, and then all of the candidates that do not have competition in the primary were voted on by acclamation.
All right.
So that's Senator Markey.
Right.
He doesn't have anyone in the primary. Auditor Bump.
Right.
She doesn't have anyone in the primary. And Secretary Galvin.
All right.
So the three of them, it's all done. They can go party and not worry about anything else. And that's what they did. And then Saturday morning, it started bright and early, 9 a.m. Everyone needed to show up. So the 4,900 people showed up. I just want to show you some pictures. Some of these pictures are really awful, mainly because you get pushed around a lot and you're on these
It's not because
stands
of the people
that-
themselves.
It's not
are
because of my
not
camera
photogenic.
work. So,
All right.
oh yeah, that's true too.
Okay.
So that's what happens when you come in. So people are gathering. It's a big stay. It's the Worcester, the Worcester.
It used to be the Centrum.
Yeah,
Is
that one.
that?
And everyone is set up by senatorial district. So there's 40 senators, 40 senatorial districts, and see these signs? They tell you that's where you go.
All right.
So actually Cambridge was split. We weren't all in one place because we have more than one senator.
I see.
So let me just do, see, this is where I don't know what I'm doing with the computer. Oh.
Yep.
Oh,
There
oh.
we go.
So everyone came in and it took a while. You had to be there at 9.
You can always switch back to our smiling faces while you stumble about.
Oh, well, you could do that.
I suppose.
Okay,
I
so
don't-
the first thing was the quorum. Everyone had to check in. And if you didn't check in, you were in so much trouble and you would be replaced by an alternate.
Now, this a mandatory T-shirt event?
Well, see, this is what happens. So there's a person way down here in this little area that has the official list. And you have to go to this person and say, I'm present. And all these other people here, see this, Healy, Grossman, all the campaigns, these are all campaign workers. And they're there to check to see who's here and who's going to vote.
I
So
see.
that's what they're doing. This is all internal strategy. So here's another picture. See, so these are all watching. This is our area. This is Suffolk and Middlesex.
See, with all those uniforms like that, I'm really expecting to see some soccer.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course.
So this is
So
like,
we're all lined up of these really rickety stairs, waiting to go down and sign in to this person. See that little hat there? That's who we're going to go
Right.
see.
Is that the back of John Pickton's head? On the
He
left?
is there. Yes, very good.
See, I can recognize people primarily from the backs of their heads.
So here they are. See, and the campaigns talk
There's
to each
John.
other. They say, "Who was that signed in? Who was it?" They all have their own little cheat sheets here to see who signed in.
Oh, is that
Kathleen?
Kathleen, the back of Kathleen Kelly?
Yes.
See,
This is our area. And
Okay.
see, like that's that senatorial district. Everyone is out there doing this very same thing in each senatorial district.
All right.
Then, these were in order, but so here's the woman who was in charge of us. I don't know if you can see that well, but clearly she's been to many conventions before. These are all her convention stickers. And she has the roll call list here, and she's writing present.
You know, if she would just get tattoos each time, she wouldn't have to pin on the buttons.
Next time you can go and tell her that yourself. Okay, so there they are. We're right here, right up here. That's where
Yes,
we're-
I can recognize you.
Can you see us?
Yeah,
So just to give you
sure.
get a sense. So there's the stage down here,
All
and
right.
2 big screens, and then a lot of signs, and everyone's just milling about getting this roll call. Now, I know that we have efficient systems, and this year we have technology. So I want you to guess how long it took for us to do this roll call where we couldn't do anything else but sit around and wait for this roll call to happen.
All right, now I think I know the answer, or at least I can give an estimate for this.
So we had to show up at 9.
Okay.
The official roll call.
Oh, wait, this was just the roll call to check in?
This is just to check in.
Oh,
It showed up at
goodness.
9. The roll call started at 10.
And you weren't done until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon?
The roll call ended at noon.
Oh, that's much quicker than I would have
So
guessed.
just 2 hours, no problem. So here we're still waiting. There's more people waiting. And you know what happens while you're waiting?
People do crimes?
Nothing. You just sit there
Oh,
and wait.
okay.
It's really painful. But it's fun, and you should all go to this at some point.
It's
So,
painful and fun.
so noon, what do you do at noon? You go out and look for food.
All right.
So here we are. These are the campaigns. You see that's the Tolman sign.
Some folks are pretty
This
well
is
fed.
Grossman. He had the wig to match the outfit. And then everyone just wandered around looking at their lists and looking for food,
I see.
which was really terrible. But I'm not discouraging you. I think you all should go to these conventions. They're wonderful. Then the speech. So it's noon. So it's a quorum. So the speeches start. And they start with the treasurer. So the first one is Deb Goldberg. She starts talking. And you see, so here she is talking, the screens, and people are milling about, not really paying attention. There's our state senator, Sal DiDomenico. He's looking the wrong way. But so everyone, and then they try to bring in people with signs up to the front of the stage. And I finally figured out why. Because when there's a bunch of cameras pointed at them, and they want the cameras to see all those names there.
I
So
see.
that's what they're being up to do. So Goldberg went first. Then Senator Feingold did his speech, and see he has some supporters there.
Sure.
And everyone else, no one's paying attention, but that's okay. Then Representative Conroy went next.
He's a candidate for, these are all treasurers.
This is
Right,
all
right. I
treasurers. So
get
they
it.
talk, they have like 10 minutes each, and everyone's sitting there trying to pay attention, look at their own people. See, there's a KM whip. When you're a whip, you wear a special whip hat. There's the Avalon, Berwick, everyone's around. So he's giving his speech. And hopefully everyone's paying attention. And then they decided that instead of having a ballot for each single office, thank goodness they decided to have one ballot.
I see.
So just vote for all of them together. So they did the treasurer, Goldberg, Feingold, and Conroy, and then they went to Attorney General. So Maura Healey was next, and she had terrific organization. Look at all those signs there.
Sure.
And so she gave a very impassioned speech. Oh, does this make it there? No. So then, after Maura Healey, we get Warren Tolman, gives a fabulous speech too. And see, there's a lot of activity here.
Right.
So then we're done because there's only 2 people running for treasurer.
Yep.
Then we have Lieutenant Governor. He
Actually,
comes in next.
those 2 previous ones were running for Attorney
I
General.
mean, Attorney General, not
Right.
Treasurer. I'm
Right.
sorry. Very good. Thank you
Right.
for checking on me. So then comes Lieutenant Governor. The first one is Leland Chung, as you can see there. Now it's interesting. He didn't bring people up to the front. I don't know if it's because he's a first runner and didn't know, or if he
I
just
think
didn't want to do
he
it.
He just might not have the big ground game of
Yeah.
some others.
So, but he gave a nice speech. And then next came Lake. Lake is a guy who ran for auditor in 2010, so you might have heard of him before. He had some presence here. And what he was happy about is that Mike Dukakis endorsed him. And apparently Mike Dukakis doesn't endorse very many people, so that was a big deal for him.
All right.
Then Mr. Arena DeRosa,
Yeah.
who worked, I think, for the Department of Agriculture. And he gave his speech, and he didn't make it on the ballot. I just want to warn you, so you don't get too disappointed.
No, actually,
And
I have the numbers.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I'm the numbers guy.
And then finally, for Lieutenant Governor, Steve Kerrigan spoke. Now, Steve Kerrigan is he worked for Kennedy for many years, and what he touts himself for in this one is he's the only one outside of 495.
All right.
So that's interesting. And so there's that. So then the speeches kept going. We were all starting to get crabby. So then I just want to show you. Here's the press box. They were sitting right next to us. So all of these are the reporters looking at their computers, doing interviews, and then right over here, all the cameras. There, and you can see these are rickety stairs, and then the signs are just thrown all over the place. It's chaos. It really, in a nice way.
Actually, on the network news, which was how I saw some of this stuff, it looked as though candidates were sort of in a little corridor at a stadium with a bunch of people shoving cameras from up and standing on top of stairs and chairs.
Yeah, that's it. Oh,
Yeah,
and that's
okay.
John Keller right there. You
Oh,
see
okay.
his little shoulder.
Sure.
So there, everyone was there. It was very exciting. Okay, so next came KM.
From Lee Street in Cambridge.
Yep, she gave it. That's her with her kids there, and notice all the signs. And
Yeah.
see what happens is that you only have like a minute at most to get your candidate in, give them the talk, get them out. So all these people are moving like a river.
Like,
So all these people come in and then they get out. It's fascinating. So she gave a nice speech, and then came Berwick. And he had tremendous support at this. He did a really good job with organizing people.
Yep.
And his saying is all means all. So you'll see that in all the on all the stickers.
All right.
Means that everyone should get.
He's the healthcare guy.
He's the healthcare guy. So and then comes Martha Coakley. She had all the governor people had tremendous showings of organization and support.
I mean, ultimately, this is primarily a gubernatorial show.
Well, that's what really matters. Yeah.
You know, I mean, when we were doing the ward caucuses, you kind of see that it was all the organizing was around the gubernatorial candidates, and then all the other candidates are just trying to make sure they picked up some support.
So this is fuzzy, but I wanted to just show you. So these are all the Coakley people, and they are leaving. They're going out this way, and here's all the Grossman people, and they're coming in.
I see. It's like the wave.
It really is a wave.
Of
It's
purple
unbelievable.
going out, and the wave of orange coming in.
Okay, it's our turn next. So I think this is another one. You can see the transition. So here's the Grossman people coming in, and the Coakley people going out. It's like a dance. It's beautiful. It's really nice. So now it's with and see here's John Keller, and that's all the press watching.
Just watching the river flow.
Exactly.
Down by the river.
Then, there's this senatorial district clearly didn't rate as much, so they were way behind us up on top but you have to go sit with your senatorial people.
Yeah.
So, and of course, right at the very front is the Worcester delegation because we're in Worcester.
There we go.
So that's what it looks like when people are speaking. Everyone's around watching, trying to be supportive. There's John.
Yeah.
Then came Grossman, and he had terrific organization also.
He's really got the biggest ground game statewide organization amongst the gubernatorial candidates that I can tell.
Well, he's done it a lot of
Yeah.
times.
Oh, yeah.
Before. He's been very successful. Now, it's interesting because so many people who have run for treasurer have run for governor, and actually the last four people, let me go back here, who have been treasurer have run for governor. Can you list them? It's Grossman,
Malone? I don't know.
a woman,
I give up.
Shannon O'Brien,
Oh, that's right.
and one more, and I had it on that list that I left at home. There's one more treasurer who ran and lost.
I don't know, slips my mind. I pay no attention to who the treasurer is.
The last four.
I admit.
Oh well. So then another transition. Just want to show you this. So here's all the Grossman people leaving, and all the Avalon people coming in. See the blue signs coming
Sure,
in?
yeah.
There they come. So Avalon is next. There he is, giving his speech with all these people.
So he had more signs than votes.
Well. And then I just want to show you, here in the padded seat area, we have our very own Jim Browdy and Marjorie Egan.
Yeah.
Just
We
wanted
know-
to show you because he's a
All right.
Cambridge guy.
Yes, he is, from Inman Street.
That's right. So they were there. It was very nice to see them. Okay, so now all the speeches are over. So all the speeches are over, so everyone has to go back. This is us, Middlesex and Suffolk, which is Senator Sal Di Domenico's area.
Yes.
So everyone has to go back. That's Juliet Cam right there.
Yeah.
And you have to vote. So this is where it gets really interesting. So people go back and vote. So it's now, the speeches went from 12 o'clock until 3 o'clock. And now at 3 o'clock, we're going to start to vote. So this is our delegation. Everyone's getting ready. See over here, we have the guy who's going to call out your name. And then you have to yell out the 4 people you're voting for.
So in this high-tech world, it's done by yelling out.
By yelling out.
Okay.
So here, so he's looking at your name, and everyone's waiting because they're nervous because you're going to forget who the 4 are. And you just vote. So there they are, they're called. So what happens is, they call out your name, you have to yell out the 4 names and hope you're right, and then he hands this sheet to this guy who yells out what he wrote. Just, that's the double checking.
Yeah.
So this guy yells it out. He has an iPad here. I think he's putting it into. And the iPad they're using as for next time, but this time they're relying on the paper.
Oh, that's going to be a disaster.
So,
As if this wasn't.
so he yells it out, and then he gets it, and he yells it out again. And there were a couple of mistakes when someone would say, "Oh no, I didn't do that. I did that." So actually, this did work. Then,
So it did work in the sense that it was eventually completed this week.
well, barely.
Yeah.
So see, and so everyone's watching you.
Esther. I see
Esther.
Esther Haney.
That's right. A lot of wonderful people there.
And Brian. Yeah.
And then, all right, so then the voting's done and they'd have to go back and tabulate it. Oh, we have to go. So all of the candidates, they take their people who held their signs and go off into an outer section to explain what their strategy is going to be. So there's Martha Coakley talking to her workers saying, oh, we got to talk about the score. But so they talk about their strategy, and then after that, that's what you were talking about. All the candidates get accosted by the news medias and to say what actually, they get their spin on what actually happened.
All right.
So that was that. It was
Well,
very exciting.
Now, I was getting this sort of secondhand because on Saturday, yeah, I guess it was Saturday, it was also the annual Antrim Street Block Party.
Whoa.
And at least one person who's one of the founders of the Antrim Street Block Party, this was the 38th annual Antrim Street Block Party, was also
Wow.
at the convention and says, I'm not going to wait for this score to get tallied here. This is taking forever. So he took off, came back to Cambridge for the block party.
Well, but the reason you had to stay was because of the second ballot.
Which didn't happen.
Because it was 7 o'clock and everyone had gone home.
Now this started like, it's like what, 3 something, they estimate, we ought to be wrapping up around 5 or so. But the way I heard it, this was just sort of rumor on the street over a plate full of beans, was that they were trying to swing some of Grossman's delegates to vote for KM to go and get sort of
Well, yeah.
a second woman on the ballot
Yeah.
to sort of balance it out gender-wise.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about what happened, but I think that Martha Coakley did the smartest thing. I didn't even think about what she did. I'm so impressed by it. So what happened with the governor ones is Grossman got 35% of the vote, which was
Right.
actually less than what people expected.
Yeah.
Coakley got 23% of the vote.
Squeaked ahead of Don Berwick.
Berwick, which was really scary. Berwick got 22% of the vote. KM got 12, so she did not make it onto the ballot. And Avalone didn't make it onto the ballot either. He got even less. So It was Grossman, Coakley, and Berwick. So what's supposed to happen is the top 2 vote getters are supposed to go into a second ballot to see who gets endorsed.
Which would have looked very bad for Martha because the numbers would have been lopsided for Grossman.
Right. So she said,
Blow
no,
it off.
let him have it.
Yeah.
Let him have it.
Brilliant.
So he now got endorsed with 35% of the vote. It's just genius.
Good
Genius.
politics.
Political
Brilliant.
strategy genius.
All right. Now, the other people who made it, we might as well just a quick say, we got 1 minute in this segment. We can come back, of course. On the lieutenant governor, there were 3 who made the ballot out of the 4.
Correct.
Kerrigan, Lake, and Leland Chung.
Yes, Arena DeRosa did not make it onto the ballot.
Right.
He got 11 votes, 11%.
Now, for Attorney General, both candidates, Tolman and Healy, both made it, and they were close to tied. It was 52% to 48%.
Yeah, and Tolman was actually the only one who was endorsed by the
Got an
convention
official endorsement.
by over 50%.
And for treasurer, it's 3 candidates. Well, Deb
They all got
Goldberg,
in.
Tom Conroy, and Barry Feingold.
And the treasurer candidates,
We're
they
at the top.
said, we don't care about endorsements, so let's not forget a second ballot.
So they're doing the Coakley strategy.
No, they just said no one
They just
gets
said, who
it.
needs this?
Who
All
needs
right,
it?
all right. We'll be back in 3 minutes. So
Yeah, I'll come back now.
until then, this has been Cambridge Inside.
Out.